Hello, I'm Marcel Giesen from Giesen Wines. Welcome to the Giesen cellar door, right here in the heart of Marlborough. In this series of little videos, we're going to demystify some of the questions that we get frequently asked about wine. So bear with me and off we go. Now, I guess to ask the question, what is complexity? Let's peel it all back and say, what is a wine that is not complex? A simple wine, a wine that delivers very one-dimensional flavors, a wine that hasn't got much fruit, a wine that doesn't have any acidity. So that makes complex wine with layers, wine where the acidity is actually connected to the fruit, where you get flavor running all over your palate, right to the back of your throat. And when you swallow the wine, you can still taste it, and taste it, and taste it. And it's this level of experience, that's when you have got a complex wine in your glass. And I think here on the bottle of our wine, we're showing all these little dots. These are all different vineyards where the fruit comes from. Each vineyard producing a unique, different flavor. And you put all these different vineyards together, you can't taste one individually out of the bottle of wine that I got in my hand, but what you can taste is the complexity of that variety of flavors that we have got here in the Wirral Valley in Marlborough. So how do we find a complex wine? Is it something we got to pay more money for? Well, sometimes that's true, but not all the time, because there's a lot of wine out there which has got complexity. And complexity is really just a wine that has got lots of flavors, which is not just a one-dimensional flavor, but lots of different layers, textures. And you can have that in reds, you can have it in whites. I mean, if you look at wine in a glass, if it has what we call legs, which run down the side, which are a bit thicker, a bit oilier, a richer texture to the wine, that is complexity. I know it's a confusing world out there, complexity in wine, but you can taste it. You can taste the difference between something that is just insipid and kind of tastes like wine and something that really tastes like the grape, that really tastes like the place where it comes from. That's complexity. Well, with impressing people with wine that you order in a restaurant, you've got to be really careful. You either got very deep pockets and go for price, which is an easy choice to do, but I think it really comes down to your personal preference and how comfortable you are with the people you're with, and I think it's very important to be connected to a wine, to order something that you actually know, rather than going for something that you've never heard of, and who knows, it could be great or you could not like it, and to suffer through a whole bottle of wine that you don't like in a restaurant can be, well, that's not the reason why you go out, is it? So stick to things that you know, get a bit of knowledge. I think what I sometimes do if I go to a restaurant, especially overseas, I look online on the menu, I look on the wine list, I have a look what they've got there, I look at things that I've heard of or kind of haven't heard of, do a bit of research. Everything's available online these days in terms of information. So if you want to make the experience really special, you've got to do your research. Well, I suppose, are you an expert now about wine? I've been doing this for over 30 years. I wouldn't call myself an expert, so you be the judge. I think it's all little things of knowledge that you kind of gain, and it's the little things that add up, and eventually, well, you become an expert at some things. But the world of wine is huge. There's so many different regions, flavors, styles. To know them all, really difficult. So, but you can learn. There's a great book out there by Jancis Robinson and Hugh Johnson called The World Atlas on Wine. Just come out in its 7th edition. And if you want a book that really talks about the world of wine, that's the one to get.